Okay, as always, this is just a moron's opinion. But trans people in sports. First, with the hormonal replacement and stuff, the muscle tone, the testosterone, that edge gets dulled. So, okay, they have a slight edge, but as long as it's hormone replacement, not much of one. And if you're in that level of sports, you shouldn't let some small edge that somebody has on you stop you. Now, most sports, most so-called sports, bike, cycling, Olympic stuff, the difference is mute. Fighting, UFC, boxing, lifting, yeah, testosterone and muscle tone helps. And if you were born male, you have testosterone when you're early, lets you build up muscle. So lifting, there's that difference. But, like I said, testosterone fixes that. Either taking away or adding it evens the playing field. What about fighting? This is where it gets tricky, in my opinion. Because unless they can test how much muscle tone you got, or what your bone mass is, there's always going to be that question if you got an edge or not. Because stronger bones are hard to break. That being said, though, I got a weird two-sided opinion on this. First is, okay, put it on the table that women that's transitioned from men have that edge. Should that matter? Like, this is a slippery slope in my opinion. Because if that matters, then let's say one of the people in let's say running, their dad and their mom was Olympic athletes. Genetically, they'd have an edge. It's just fact. Should they be banned because they have a genetic edge? And then it will just snowball from there. And then my other opinion is, if you're on that level, it's like anything it's like a straight up fight in a ring. If I'm in the ring and someone steps through those ropes, as long as they can hang with me, doesn't matter how they what their sexual preference is, how if they're born man, woman, what their lifetime was before that. If you're on my level, and there's no obvious difference between us, like obviously a 6'2" guy and a 6'2", 400-pound dude and a 100-pound dude isn't going to be in the same fight. So the whole size difference won't matter because size and weight is what you should separate. Because if I can put 300 pounds behind my punch, and you can put 50 pounds behind yours, I'm going to win. Because all I need to do is lay one hand. It's like lifting. If you can lift 50 pounds and I can lift 400, I'm going to win. If you can bike for an hour and I can bike for 3, I'm going to win. But that's Olympics, that's different. So yeah, with fighting, boxing, whatever, it should be if you're on the same level as the guy. Which means you go through the cruiserweight, you go through the lightweights, you go through the going up to the champ. So, if on your amateur fights, if you've been able to knock out everybody you come across, then you go up a level. Doesn't matter what you were born with. If a 300-pound, if a 100-pound woman can knock out a 400-pound guy, then she should be able to go. If a trans woman can knock out a born male guy, then she moves on to the next. In a fight, it should always be, if you win, you win. As long as you didn't pull no cheap shots, like kicking a guy in the balls or something like that, you win. Now, a lot of you are going to have different opinion. Good for you, free speech and all that. But any athlete that backs down from somebody just because they think the other person has an advantage of them, isn't a real athlete. An athlete sees someone having an edge on them as a challenge. That being said, a fight against a guy that was born a guy and a guy that was born a woman, there's one edge that the guy that was born a woman has. It's psychological. Part of that guy's brain, if he thinks in any way that guy is still a woman, in even the smallest part of his brain, and he's an actual half-decent dude, he won't be able to put all his muscle behind his throat. His subconscious will stop him. The guy that was born a woman, her subconscious won't do shit. She'll be able to put every little ounce of muscle and everything she's got into laying that other guy out. That's the only edge I can see. It's the psychological one. That you can get past.